Okay, this is a little maneuvering test with skid steering and rudder steering. It's taking a little getting used to. It does pivot in place better. I can pivot. It's taking a lot of getting used to. The controls are really totally different than what I'm used to. Let me move the camera a little bit. I'm going to back up, and it's very touchy as far as a thruster suddenly going forward and one going backwards and cavitating a little bit. And you can see it kind of jerking. This is probably all the skipper right now just because I'm not used to this. I'll back up a little more and go the other way. But it is able to pretty much pivot. See, I'm starting to get used to it already. That's much tighter than it used to be, turning wise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark some waypoints on the pond, do a little auto testing, and then try loiter as compared to how loiter used to be. And then I'm going to actually unplug a thruster and see if it's able to do anything with just one thruster in the rudders. I'm getting a little cavitating. It's just a different feel. Totally different feel than with just throttle and rudders. I'd probably get used to it. That's pretty impressive. Okay, this is a loiter test with skid steering. Now the wind is a lot lighter than the last loiter test I did with throttle and steering, type of steering. So this is skid plus rudders, and it's very well behaved. You can see it kind of moving around. I wish the wind was a little bit stronger, but you know, you can see the bow and the stern moving, and I'll just leave this on for 30 seconds or so while it sits right there. But the boat's definitely not going to go anywhere. Looked like maybe a little bit of a GPS drift there with a sudden jerk. I hadn't seen that yet. So I think that's probably enough of loiter. I don't want to bore everybody to death, but it works very well. Okay, this is going to be a waypoint test. It's a simple 5 waypoint X pattern. Little yellow ball up close will be 1. A out to the left is waypoint 2. Coming across to 3 is waypoint 4. Going out to B is, I might have got ahead of myself, is 4, and then 5 is actually in front of the dock. So it's just sitting here in loiter now. I'm going to walk in front of the camera, click it to auto, and see what it does. Obviously it's off and running. Turns are much sharper than with rudders. I might actually hit my next waypoint. I did. I'll have to check. I may have the waypoint radius set at 1 on this. The way it was in loiter, it looked like it was trying to stay very close to the point. It most definitely turns a lot sharper now. This is the same tuning as with just throttle and steering, and looks to be good. This will really show you how sharp it turns now compared to how it used to. And I think it's a little improved over just throttle and steering. Again, same tuning. I don't see any wiggling in the boat. I'm not looking at my HUD to see what's going on with the servo outputs, but it looks good. We'll do it one more time. See if we can miss the A this time, or if it hits it again. Well, that's unexpected. It's repeating. It's repeating the mission by itself. And it's going to hit the mark again. No. Nope. Nope, just missed it and spun it. I don't know why it restarted. That's the first I've seen of that. That's basically like a 130, 140 degree turn, I think. I think it handles it pretty good. Now we'll see if it stops this time or repeats again. For some reason, it keeps repeating the mission.
It'll be all right.
Hit the A again in the exact same spot. It's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to let it finish this round and then put it into loiter. I don't know why it's repeating the mission. I'll have to look at my parameters and see if I've changed something or if I have some kind of glitch. And for whatever reason, previous testing with 3.4 did not do this. It went into hold when it finished its mission. Alright, this is where it's supposed to stop. And nope, it says I want to do it again. Here's another little loiter test out there, briefly.
Yeah, it's
Free.
pretty neat. So do you have to get special hardware to work with the firmware?
Yeah, you gotta spend a few $100 on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll put it in RTL. It's going to come right into shore because that's where it thinks home is. It's in loiter right now.
That's wherever you hit the button is where it's...
Okay, I've now unplugged the port thruster, simulating an overheated ESC or something fouled or just a mechanical problem. And let me go see what I can do with it in the water. It'll blow somewhere to shore, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, I'm in manual. We'll see if I can make it do anything. And I, in fact, can make it go straight. Except when I need to make a right turn. I kind of have to get some speed up and then wiggle it. And then I can, it'll go straight. That's straight with one thruster. It's when I turn right that I can only turn right so much to keep the boat moving. I'm going to take it out a little bit and put it in RTL. But it will go straight. And of course I can go that direction extremely fast. Again, one thruster with skid steering. Straight is not a problem. I'm going to stop it. This is RTL. So it will in fact come home. Good news. This is now loiter with one thruster in very tight quarters. Maybe I should pull it out a little bit further. Hang on. Yeah, it's gonna be tricky. Nice, I got a weed there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of this, build up enough speed. No, whoa. Oh, in the weeds. This is loiter again with one thruster and rudders. I'm going to take it out and do one more RTL with it on one thruster. Okay, here goes RTL again. It's decided to make the right turn, which is the harder way to turn. It's going super slow. I feel if I had a heavier wind, I'd be screwed. But if I didn't have the rudders right now, I'd just be doing circles out there. The boat would be dead in the water. But see, if I had a heavier wind coming across the right side of the hull, I don't think it would ever turn in the right direction. It's still trying. It's kind of given up. If the bow just comes a little more over. Oh. Alright, I think when it comes back in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the servo outputs back to 70 for the motors, reboot it, and I'm going to run the same waypoint mission and compare it. See, now that it's kind of pointed in the right direction, it speeds up and comes home. So not real comfortable with that. Okay, we're trying this again. Apparently when I rebooted the Pixhawk, my GPS either didn't come on or there was a little wire loose from getting in under the hood. I'm not sure what it was. I wiggled a few wires around. I've got a GPS fix, and right now the boat's in loiter, just sitting for me to wait to do the same run in auto with just throttles and rudders as I did with skid steering plus rudders. So we'll have something to compare the two together. So here we go for one last auto mission. The motors simply work together in throttle and reverse, both either forward or backwards, and the rudders will be steering the boat. It is in auto. Looks like I'm likely to hit the A again. Okay, now it's gotten to where it wants to go. Now it'll go to 3. See the... Well, I don't know if there's any real benefit for me with the skid steering option. I gotta make sure I don't hit that sailboat. I'll get a better idea when I get to B. Then I might have to pause the mission briefly so I don't mow down a sailboat. Okay, I think for the time being, I am going to be using just throttles and steering. So servo 2 and 3 at 70 and servo 1 at 26 for the rudder. So I'm going to put it in loiter. We'll give that 30 seconds in loiter. It's, I know, pretty boring, but wind's picking up a little bit now, but I mean it holds position just fine, just with forward and reverse and rudders. I guess I'm not gonna mess with something too much that works so well.